If you've been carrying anger for years, not the kind that flares up and passes, but the kind that lives in your chest, your jaw, your stomach, this video is for you. Because this isn't just an emotion, it's a physiological state. And if you've ever experienced panic attacks, internal trembling, dizziness, or fear that seems to come out of nowhere, there's a very good chance that chronic, unprocessed anger is at the root of it. I'm Sergey Upapabisai, licensed psychologist based in Munich. Today I want to give you something genuinely useful, not just an explanation, a guide, real tools you can use based on what we know from neuroscience and trauma research. Let's start with why this happens. When you experience something overwhelming, something that made you furious but were expressing that fury felt dangerous, impossible, or pointless, your nervous system doesn't just register the emotion and move on. It mobilizes for action. Your heart rate spikes, stress hormones flood your body, your muscles brace, your whole system prepares to fight. But if that fight never happens, if you had to stay silent, stay still, stay calm, the energy doesn't disappear. It gets frozen inside your nervous system. Psychiatrist Bessel Kolk spent decades documenting exactly this. Traumatic and overwhelming emotional experiences get encoded not just in memory, but in the body's physiology itself, in muscle tone, breathing patterns, and nervous system reactivity. His conclusion, which became the title of his landmark book, is that the body keeps the score. What this means practically is that your nervous system has been running the same emergency program, the one that activated years ago, long after the original threat is over. The anger, the danger, the helplessness. It's still running. You just can't consciously find the off switch. This is why the trembling isn't weakness. The panic attacks aren't madness. The dizziness isn't physical illness. These are your nervous system's way of telling you there is energy in here that has never been discharged, and the path forward is not to talk your way out of it. It's to move it through your body. That's what this guide is about. Part 1. Learning to recognize what's actually happening in your body. The first and most important skill is learning to distinguish between two states, activated and regulated. When you are activated, meaning your nervous system is in a state of threat response, you will notice some combination of a tight chest or jaw, shallow breathing, a feeling of pressure behind the eyes, heat in the face or neck, restlessness in the legs, a sense of urgency or irritability with no clear cause, or that internal vibration that feels like you're shaking on the inside even when you look still on the outside. When you're regulated, meaning your nervous system feels safe, you can breathe fully into your belly. Your hands are warm and relaxed. Your jaw is soft. Your thoughts are clear and not racing. Your first homework, and I mean this practically, is to start checking in with your body 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and before sleep. Just pause for 30 seconds and ask, where am I right now? Activated or regulated? And where exactly do I feel it? You are not trying to change anything at this stage. You are learning the territory of your own nervous system. This is called interoception, the ability to perceive signals from inside your body. And research shows that people with higher interoceptive awareness recover from emotional dysregulation significantly faster than those who are disconnected from their bodily sensations. Part 2. Breathing to shift your nervous system state. The most direct access point to your nervous system is your breath. Not because breathing is magic, but because of anatomy. Your vagus nerve, the longest nerve in your body, running from your brainstem all the way down through your throat, chest, heart, lungs, and gut, is the primary pathway of your parasympathetic nervous system. This is the branch of your nervous system responsible for calm, safety, and recovery, and it responds directly to how you breathe. A 2023 study published in Cell Reports Medicine compared different breathing techniques and found that exhale-emphasized breathing, where the out-breath is longer than the in-breath, produced the most significant reductions in physiological arousal and anxiety. The reason is straightforward. When you exhale, your heart rate slows. When you make the exhale longer than the inhale, you're literally applying the brakes to your own nervous system. Here's the technique I want you to practice. It is sometimes called the physiological sigh, and it is one of the fastest ways known to science to shift out of an activated state. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. At the top of that inhale, take one small additional sniff, just a quick extra breath in. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 counts. Long, controlled, like you're breathing out through a straw. Do this 3 times in a row whenever you feel the first signs of activation, the tight chest, the trembling starting, the anxiety rising. You do not need to wait until you are in full panic. The earlier you use this, the more effective it is. For daily practice, aim for 5 minutes of slow breathing every morning. Inhale for 5 counts, exhale for 5 counts, pause for 2. Research shows that even 5 minutes of paced breathing per day, done consistently over several weeks, measurably improves vagal tone, meaning your nervous system becomes more resilient to stress over time. It's like physical training, but for your autonomic nervous system. Part 3. Working with the trembling. I want to say something that might surprise you. The internal trembling many of you experience is not a symptom to suppress. It is actually your body attempting to heal itself. Trauma researcher Peter Levine observes something striking. Animals in the wild, after surviving a life-threatening event, will shake, sometimes violently, for several minutes before returning to normal activity. The shaking is the nervous system completing a discharge cycle. It is how the survival energy gets released from the body. Levine's insight, which became the foundation of somatic experiencing therapy, is that humans have the same mechanism, but we suppress it. We are afraid of the shaking. We tense up against it. We breathe it away, and in doing so, we trap the energy inside. Dr. David Bessel developed a set of exercises called tension and trauma releasing exercises, TREE, based on this exact principle. A pilot study published in a peer-reviewed journal found that people who practice TRE experience significant improvements in quality of life, sleep, and emotional regulation. The exercises fatigue specific muscle groups in the lower body, which then triggers the body's natural neurogenic tremor, a gentle, involuntary shaking that helps discharge stored tension from the nervous system. Here is a simple version you can try. Lie down on your back on a firm surface. Bend your knees with your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Let your knees fall inward so they touch. Then let them slowly drop back out. Repeat the slow butterfly movement for 2 to 3 minutes until your thighs begin to feel fatigued. Then hold your knees at a 45-degree angle, not all the way up, not all the way down, and simply wait. After 30 to 60 seconds, you may begin to notice a trembling or vibrating in your legs. Let it happen. Do not control it or stop it. Just breathe and let your body do what it already knows how to do. Stay with this for 5 to 10 minutes. Afterward, lie flat and notice what you feel. Many people describe warmth, release, a sudden sense of calm, or even emotion rising. All of this is normal. All of this is discharge. I do want to add one important note. If you have a history of severe trauma, dissociation, or if these exercises bring up overwhelming emotions, please work with a trained therapist or somatic practitioner rather than practicing alone. This is not about pushing through, it's about working within your capacity. Part 4, working with the anger directly. This is where most approaches stop short. They address the symptoms, the panic, the anxiety, the trembling, without addressing the anger underneath. Chronic anger that has been suppressed needs a place to go. It was originally energy mobilized for action. And while we can't go back and have the confrontation we never had, we can give that energy a legitimate outlet in the present. Physical movement is not optional here. It is neurologically necessary. When anger activates your sympathetic nervous system, it releases adrenaline and cortisol to prepare your body for physical action. If that physical action never comes, those hormones stay in your bloodstream and continue driving arousal, anxiety, and hypervigilance. Exercise is one of the most reliable ways to metabolize them. I am not talking about leisure walking. I am talking about vigorous movement that actually feels like release. Running, swimming hard, hitting a pillow, tearing up paper, shaking your body deliberately, dancing to music that matches the intensity of what you feel inside. There is a specific practice I recommend to some clients. Stand in a private space. Let yourself feel the anger. Don't narrate it or analyze it. Just feel it physically. Then shake your hands, then your arms, then your whole body. Let your voice come out, even just an exhale, a growl, a sound. This is not therapy. It is vitalogy. You are giving the energy somewhere to go. If vocalizing feels too much, you can hum instead. Research shows that humming stimulates the vagus nerve through vibration, naturally extending the exhale and creating a felt sense of calm in the body. Part 5, completing the cycle. Here is something that most people who carry chronic anger don't know. The nervous system doesn't just need to discharge, it also needs to experience the completion of the response. When your body activated for a threat, it was preparing to do something, fight back, leave, protect itself. If that action was impossible at the time, the nervous system never received the signal that the threat was over. One of the most powerful things you can do is use gentle movement to create a symbolic completion of that response. This is a technique from somatic experiencing. You can do it like this. Sit comfortably and bring to mind, lightly, not intensively, a situation connected to the anger. Notice where you feel it in your body. Then, very slowly, let your body begin to move in whatever way feels natural. It might be your hands pushing outward, your shoulders straightening, your head slowly turning away. Follow the impulse in slow motion, much lower than you would in real life. Let the movement complete itself. What you are doing is allowing your nervous system to finish what it started. You are telling your body, that situation is over. You can rest now. After this, lie down or sit quietly for several minutes. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Breathe slowly. Let the settling happen. Part 6. Building Safety as a Daily Practice. None of these techniques will create lasting change if your nervous system doesn't have a foundation of safety to return to. This is what regulation really means, not the absence of emotion, but a nervous system that knows how to come back to baseline. There are 3 things I want you to commit to as a daily practice. First, morning regulation. Before you reach for your phone, spend 5 minutes with slow breathing. This sets the baseline tone of your nervous system for the entire day. Second, movement. Every single day. It does not need to be long. 20 minutes of vigorous exercise is enough to begin metabolizing the accumulated stress hormones in your body. Third, one grounding practice in the evening. This can be as simple as the following. Sit comfortably. Look around the room slowly and name 5 things you can see. Then notice 4 things you can physically feel. The temperature of the air, the pressure of the chair, the texture of your clothes. Then take 3 slow breaths. This practice, sometimes called orienting, signals to your nervous system that the present moment is safe, that you are here, not back there. Over time, with consistent practice, the baseline state of your nervous system will shift. The panic attacks will become less frequent. The internal trembling will have somewhere to go. The anger will stop feeling like a locked room you can't enter. I want to close with something honest. This work takes time. These tools are real and they are research-backed, but they are not a quick fix. What you are doing when you practice them is literally rewiring patterns in your nervous system that were formed under extreme pressure. That kind of change is deep. It is slow, and it is absolutely possible. If you have been carrying this anger for years, please also consider working with a therapist trained in somatic or trauma-informed approaches. Individual therapy provides something no video can, a regulated human presence to co-regulate with, which research shows is one of the most powerful factors in nervous system healing. I'd offer psychological consultations in Munich and online. The link is in the description. Subscribe if this kind of content is useful to you. Share it with someone who needs it, and I'll see you in the next video.